This is Chris Ashton. I'm at Turtle Rock Studios. I'm one of the co-founders and also a design director.
So let's start by talking a little about the 4 new characters you guys are introducing here.
Right, so we've got 1 new character per class. So our new assault character is Hyde. He's got a flamethrower. It's the shortest range weapon in the game, but it does the most damage. He's got a chain gun, and he's also got a toxic grenade. And sort of the difference between sort of how his play style and Markov's, who was our previously announced assault character, is that Hyde can flush the monster out of areas that they don't want to fight in. So he can throw his toxic grenade in there, and it makes a poison gas cloud. The monster can't breathe and wants to get out of that gas cloud. Markov has mines that he can set up and protect an area with. So it's kind of a little bit, Markov's a little bit more offensive, or Markov's a little bit more defensive and Hyde's a little bit more offensive. Our new trapper class is Maggie, and coolest part about Maggie is probably Daisy. That's her pet trap jaw. And Daisy works like a hound dog. She'll sniff out the monster, she'll follow tracks. She's really good at, she'll even be able to follow monsters who are stealthing and not leaving tracks. She works as like a 5th member of the team. If she gets killed, she'll come back in on the drop ship just like the rest of the hunters do. She'll also revive players. So a lot of times the whole team's down and you think the game's over, but here comes Daisy to save the day and pick somebody back up. Maggie also has harpoon traps. So as opposed to Griffin has a harpoon gun, where Griffin can use that gun to shoot the monster at any point in the game. He's very reactive. Maggie can lay down traps and sort of in ambush for the monster. So Maggie players have to figure out where the monster's going and try to, use those traps in choke points and in battles, as opposed to Griffin can actually directly control the monster movement himself. So their play styles are a little bit different. Then we've got Lazarus is our new medic, and he's a stealth medic, and the big thing about Lazarus is he can bring players back from the dead, as opposed to Val's really good at healing wounds and healing people. So while somebody's taking damage, she's feeding them new health, and so they last a really long time in combat. With Lazarus, he can't do that. He doesn't have a med gun. So what happens is people tend to go down a lot quicker. Monster thinks he's really doing well. He leaves the players incapped or even dead. And then Lazarus, he actually has a personal cloak. So he'll cloak himself, go invisible, walk up to the dead body, and use his device that he wears on his hand, his glove, to bring them back from the dead. So it's a very stealthy style of gameplay. Where Val's very direct, she has a tranq dart gun, and she's directly engaging in combat and supporting her team in combat. Lazarus tries to stay out of sight, stay hidden. He's stealth. He's got a rifle, but it's silenced and it doesn't leave tracers, so he's very stealthy. And then last we have support, and our support is Bucket. He's a robot, so it's fun for us to bring different. It's not just all humans. So it's fun to come with this new group of characters. We've got a pet in the mix. We've got coming back from the dead. We've got Bucket's a robot. He's able to do a lot of fun stuff. He can take his head off and fly his head around the map as a UAV, which is it's fun to fly the UAV around, but he winds up being very offensive. Helps the team find the monster quicker. Helps them get into combat with earlier, less powerful monsters. And once they do get in combat, he can throw down sentry guns that deploy and then start doing damage themselves. So Bucket, as opposed to Hank, who's our other support character, Hank can shield somebody who's getting attacked by the monster. So he helps his team survive in a very defensive manner. Bucket's very offensive and helps his team survive in an offensive manner. Once you get into combat and you put down a bunch of sentry guns, the monster really can't deal with those sentry guns quick enough, and he just starts taking too much damage, so he's forced to leave. So Bucket can sort of make a nice little defendable area. If he has enough time, he can make a defendable area for his team to fight in. So as you can imagine, with all the gear being different, and these play styles being different, then when you're the monster and you're fighting different groups or different combinations of these hunters, you have to adapt and you have to play differently. And fighting Lazarus is a whole different ball game than fighting against Val. And it's the same even with teammates. You know, I'll play differently if Lazarus is on my team, because I know that he's not going to actively be healing me all the time. I might take different perks. I might take more armor or health regen or something to compensate. So we have these new characters, and every mix is going to change up the game and make it interesting and more replayable, and make for a different experience.